Hi y'all! Today I'm going to show you how to make this entire meal for all the dads out there for Father's Day. This is filet mignon with Madeira cream sauce, brown butter asparagus, and cheesy stuffed bread. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, we'll start by prepping the filet mignons. I'm just doing one here to show you, but this is about an 8-ounce filet, so this would actually feed 4 people if you get 4 fillets. And I'm just coating it liberally with kosher salt and cracked black pepper, and I'm going to let it sit out at room temperature. You really want it at room temp when you go to sear it. It makes a world of difference in getting the right doneness to your liking. So we'll set that aside, and now we'll get on with the filling for our cheesy stuffed bread. This is 3 ounces or 85 grams of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of softened butter, a cup or 113 grams of shredded mozzarella, a clove of minced garlic, and a tablespoon of chopped fresh parsley. And I'm just using my silicone spatula to mix this all together. You can put it in a mixer, like a stand mixer or a handheld mixer. It's just very easy to do, and when it's hot like it's been lately, everything is nice and room temp, so it's no problem getting it all smushed together. So I forgot to add my salt and pepper. Gotta have that in there. So I'm coming back through, add in the salt and pepper, and I'll just mix it real quick. That looks great, nice and spreadable. Okay, let me grab my bread now. This is a small gluten-free Italian loaf that I made earlier today. Very simple to do. It's one of my favorites, and it's one of my husband's and my dad's favorite. In fact, my dad and my husband both are not gluten-free. They do not have to eat gluten-free. And when I first made this, they could not believe it. They were like, this is probably the best bread I've ever had. And they were just stunned at how good it was. So I'm cutting this into about 1/2-inch slices. And I'm going to keep it all together though, so I can stuff each piece with the cheese mixture. This bread we've been making in our family for over 20 years at least, maybe longer. And it is such a family favorite. You can wrap it in foil. You can put it on the grill alongside anything you're grilling, in the oven. However you want to do it, it is great year-round. You can also use something other than an Italian loaf. If you want to use my gluten-free artisan bread, that would work as well. I've done it both ways, and it comes out so delicious, you guys. Everybody will love it. So I'm just grabbing a piece of foil because I'm going to wrap this up after I stuff it with the cheesy mixture. So I'm just taking an offset spatula, and I'm taking about a tablespoon, maybe more, and stuffing it between each piece. And what happens is both sides of the pieces of bread get a little bit of that filling. And I have to say that my sister and I, we used to double the filling for one loaf of bread. So feel free to double it. Nobody's going to judge you. It is all so good, and everybody is going to love this bread. And kind of push it back together and wrap it up in your foil, and we're going to set this aside for now. Now we'll get on with making the Madeira cream sauce, one of my favorite sauces to eat with beef. It is divine, you guys. Once you have it, you will not believe you ever lived without it. And I'm taking here 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of butter that I have melted in my small saucepan. I'm adding to that 1 to 2 cloves of garlic that have been minced, but not finely because we're eventually going to strain everything out. And just cook this just a little bit. You don't want the the garlic to brown necessarily, but just when it starts becoming fragrant. It'll take just about 30 seconds to a minute or so. That's perfect. Now we're going to add in a half a bottle or 375 milliliters of Madeira wine, not Marsala wine, Madeira. Madeira is a Portuguese, I think, Portuguese wine. And sometimes it's hard to find, but if you have a Total Wine & More near you, you can definitely find it there. And I'm just going to bring this up to a boil. Throw in a couple of sprigs of thyme, and I brought this up to a boil, reduced it to a simmer, and let it simmer until it was reduced by about half. Now I'm going to add in 1.5 cups or 360 ml of heavy cream. And we'll just stir this together and let it come back to a boil, and we'll reduce this down not to quite half, but close to it until it's thickened and bubbly and looks a lot like this. It's a little darker in color and it kind of coats the back of the spatula or spoon. So now I'm going to take this and pour it into a small pitcher with a sieve put over it so I can strain out all the garlic and those thyme leaves or those thyme sprigs. This sauce, we could literally drink it. It's so good. And we'll set this aside. It can be served really hot or at room temperature as well. So now we'll get on with our steaks. I've got my pan. This is my cast iron skillet and it is rip-roaring hot. So make sure you have good ventilation. I put butter in the pan. I know the pros do not do butter. They do some kind of oil, but I'm a butter person. I like the taste of butter so much better on steaks. So I don't care if the butter gets a little brown. There's nothing wrong with brown butter. And I'm going to put my steak in and press it a little bit to make sure it gets good contact with the cast iron skillet. I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. So I'm coming back. It's been 2 minutes and I'm going to flip it over. And as you can see, there is loads of smoke. Again, make sure you have good ventilation. You can even do this on a grill outside. I've done it before on a grill. Just bring my cast iron skillet right out there. Another 2 minutes now. Don't touch it. Now I'm going to put it into a 500-degree oven for 5 minutes. Set a timer. Meanwhile, we can cook up our asparagus. This is something I already have on YouTube. It's a very simple recipe. It's not even really a recipe. I don't have it written up on my blog. It's just butter, some chopped up asparagus, salt and pepper, and it is our favorite way to eat asparagus, my husband and I's favorite way, and it is so tasty, you guys, so simple. I'll leave a link below for the original video that has the written kind of recipe right on it. And now let's plate this up. We've got our steak. It is not burnt. It is charred and it's nice and crusty. We've got our bread that I stuck in the oven with the steak. You might need to leave it in there a little bit longer. When I take the steak out, I'd let the steak sit for like 5 to 7 minutes. And let's pour our sauce over. Oh, this sauce is so good, you guys. I hope you get a chance to make it because I really want to hear how much you like it. Let's cut into this. It is perfectly crusty on the outside. It's so tender on the inside, and look at how perfectly it is cooked. It comes out perfect every time. If you want a medium rare filet mignon, this method works like a charm every single time. Look at how beautiful this steak looks, and that sauce is so divine. Every time I take a bite, I just close my eyes, and I think your dad or the father, whoever in your life that is a dad, is going to love it. And this asparagus, let me tell ya, I love asparagus, and this is my new favorite way of making asparagus over the past year or so. And I make it no other way now because it's so darn good. So tasty. It's still got a little crunch and bite to it. It's not overly mushy, which is how I like it, nice and crunchy. And this bread, oh my gosh, the cheese pull, you got cheese on both sides. It is so soft and so garlicky, and it's just a perfect bite of bread. I hope you get a chance to make this for your dad or any dad in your life, and I hope they enjoy it.